shoulder blades. And the one under your head can be angled up a little bit taller. And we'll start with our feet on the ground and our knees bent, like so. And you can bring your arms either down by your sides with your palms up for a more gentle option, or in a cactus shape, elbows out from your shoulders to open up a little bit more into the chest. Let your eyes close. Take a moment to settle and adjust so that you're really comfortable. You feel nice and supported here. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we'll do that again. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And one more. Inhale through your nose. Sigh it out. And then seal your lips and begin to activate Ujjayi pranayama. Slow down your breathing and sift your breath past the back of your throat. Just take a moment here to sift and settle, to relax your body down into the support of the floor and the blocks. And to tune in, drop in. Just notice how you've landed at your mat today. Notice what's with you, maybe what you're feeling in your physical body or what you're feeling emotionally today, energetically today, and how you might take great care of yourself, support yourself through this practice, considering that. And we'll take one more deep breath here. Full breath out, and as you inhale, you can blink your eyes open and just stay as you are with your feet on the ground and your knees over your heels. And we're going to take a little pelvic clock, or kind of an Elvis the pelvis. So you'll tuck your tailbone forward and then arc your hips over to the right and back, tailbone back, and then over to the left and forward. So really just circling the tailbone. It's a tiny little movement. You can keep your hips on the ground. And you can go slow or fast, whatever feels interesting for you. Circle your hips like your tailbone is inscribing a circle, pelvic clock. One more in this direction. And then start to circle the other direction. Notice any areas that feel sticky or stagnant or difficult to connect into this fluid circling. And get curious about those spaces. One more circle. And then find stillness. And from here, reach your left arm, I'm mirroring you, up over your head and roll onto your left side. Just roll off of the blocks. And you can grab your bouncy ball and come on up and move these blocks out of the way. So if you want, you could put a block or two under your pelvis, or you can just bridge up so you're engaging your adductors a little bit. We'll put the bouncy ball like right in between, if you feel where your spine is and then where your like medial or inner border of your shoulder blade is. The ball's gonna go right between the shoulder blade and the spine. And you're gonna lean back onto your ball with your, whatever side it's on, whatever side of the spine, that arm, like a little chicken wing out to the side. So your elbow is in a cactus shape out from your shoulder. And then you can lift up through your hips, and you can even tuck a block under your pelvis like I mentioned earlier, or just lift your hips and use your hamstrings to support that lift so that you drive more weight down into the ball. And you're gonna stay on this one side of the spine. Try not to like dig into your vertebra. That won't feel good. but you can kind of roll around and just kind of feel into any trigger points or bound spaces. You'll probably find a bunch. And then as you move around, I want you to find one space. You can go way up high towards the top of the scap and down towards the bottom tip of it. Just find one space that feels particularly fruitful to zone in on. And then stay there. And you might just hold here with your hips lifted and pour your weight down into the ball. Or you might take a little cross fiber friction, kind of rubbing the upper back across the ball, side to side, left to right, like a little cross fibering of that sticky spot. And as you do this, take a couple deep breaths. Exhale through your mouth. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So you can roll onto your left. Again, I'm mirroring you. Pick up your ball and just place it to the other side. So right in between your spine and your shoulder blade and your arm, whichever side the ball is on of your spine, that arm will be the cactus arm, elbow out from shoulder. And then you can bridge up, press into your feet, and press the weight of your body down into the tennis ball, bouncy ball, lacrosse ball. Those are dense. Those are good. And start to excavate for trigger points or sticky, stagnant spaces around your shoulder blade and your upper back muscles here. So you're sort of rolling around top to bottom towards the inner border of the shoulder blade and towards the bottom tip of the shoulder blade and in towards the spine without pushing on the vertebra. That won't feel good. And then in the next breath or so, just find an area you want to zone in on. And you'll stay there. Again, you can either just lift your hips so more weight presses down into the massage ball, or cross fiber friction by rocking your body a little left and right into that spot you're digging into. And take a couple more breaths. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And then again, inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. All right. And then you can lower your hips. Move the block out of the way if you're using that. Move your ball out of the way. And again, roll to your left side and just rest here on your left side for a moment. There's so much more we could do with this, but I don't know. We'll save it for later. You can come on up. I'll show a few things though, but we'll do yoga also. We won't just do all massage, although that would be lovely too. But a few nice ways you can use this ball, like you just did. You can get into your upper back. You can do the same thing with a wall squat, and that gives you some good body weight to drive into the ball. You can roll all the way up and down the paraspinals, the sides of the back. You can also put your ball on a tabletop, like on a dining table, hang forward and just let your body weight press into the ball. And that will get, like if you have neck and shoulder tension up here, your levator scap, you can get right into that by even grabbing an opposite wrist with a ball right here on the dining table and push down into it. So many ways you can get your hips, lots of good stuff. You can roll out the soles of your feet, but we'll stick with that for today. Come on into child's pose and just see how your back feels in child's pose after massaging and rolling out some of those sticky spaces. So go ahead and connect your big toes. You can rest your forehead to the mat or to a block or to stacked hands here. Close your eyes. Find your Ujjayi breath once again if you lost that. And take some nice deep breaths as if you're kind of moving the breath and the awareness right into those spaces you just rolled out in your upper back. And then start to find a gentle sway left to right. Roll across your forehead if it's not on a block. And take this moment as you sway and as you bow down to just connect to your sankalpa, your intention, your reason for making it to the mat, to your practice. What do you hope for from this practice, for your body, your baby, your birth even? A couple more slow breaths, rolling from your left eyebrow to your right eyebrow. And then find stillness. And then find your way on up, all fours. And then from all fours, cow tilt. Open the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. And as you exhale, round your spine, wrap around your baby, press into your palms, cat tilt. Inhale, arch your spine, open your front body, and think of pressing your thighs out towards the sides of the room. And then exhale, cat, round your spine and hug your inner thighs in towards the midline. Drop your head. Keep it going. Inhale, cow, thighs press out or abduct. And then exhale, cat, thighs hug in or adduction, squeeze in. One more on your own, nice and slow, full breath. And then come on back to neutral. Walk your hands about one handprint further forward. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, lift your hips. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take a moment here to move around in any way that feels good for your body. You can bend your knees and tread through the feet. Maybe shake your head out. Do your thing here. And with your next exhale, settle into stillness. Whether your knees are bent or straight, find stillness and really root down into your fingertips, feel down to your feet. And in your down dog, lift up high on your tippy toes and turn the 10 toes to the left and the heels to the right. And then lower the heels and bend your knees and really press into that left hand so you get a nice side stretch up into your left rib cage. And then go the other direction. So come on back to the center, up high on your tippy toes. Turn your toes to the right, turn your heels to the left. And then root your heels towards the mat and bend your knees. And root down into your right hand. Feel that stretch in your right rib cage. One more. And then come on back to the center in your downward facing dog. And with your toes pointing forward, lift up high on your tippy toes. And feel as if you can lift your pelvis up higher off your rib cage. And then bend your knees, and you might need to make more space for baby here. You can widen your feet if you need. Bend your knees and feel that you can start to melt your chest towards your thighs. And then keep your knees bent, but lower your heels so you get a really gooey calf stretch. And then slowly straighten your legs and feel back into the hands and feet, your downward dog. And we'll repeat that. Inhale, tiptoes, lift and widen your sitting bones. Exhale, bend your knees, melt your heart. Inhale, keep your knees bent, but dig your heels down, calf stretch. And then exhale, straighten your legs. And then start to walk your hands all the way back to the back of your mat. Come on back into a forward fold back here at the back of your mat, making as much space as you need for baby, so feet can be wide as you need here today. You can modify head and heart in line or walk your fingers forward and make a little more space around your bump. Or if it's still comfortable, fold forward for a couple more breaths, just feeling into your forward fold, what makes sense for your body, your baby today. One more breath. And on your inhalation, slide your hands up your shins and reach your heart forward and look forward. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips and think of hugging in around your baby or navel to spine. And then inhale, come all the way on up to stand. And exhale, pause here, hug in around baby again. Inhale, circle your arms down, around, and up over your head. Exhale, gather your hands down the midline into your belly, palms of your hands to your low belly. Take a deep breath down to your belly, down to your hands. And as you exhale, hug in around your baby, core conscious exhale. Deep breath in, down to your hands, down to your baby. Exhale, hug in and feel the pelvic floor contone in and up, 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 up. One more time, big breath down to baby. And exhale, hug in around your baby. And then open your eyes and turn your feet out wide. And you might modify this malasana today. Reach up. Exhale halfway down for a modification and hug your inner thighs in. Or come all the way down for full malasana, garland pose. We'll take 3 breaths. If you're all the way down, press into your heels and widen your collarbones. And if you're halfway down, squeeze your thighs into your elbows, that adduction. For one more breath. And on your next exhale, release your hands and walk them forward and find your downward facing dog. And then we'll take a little experiment today in our downward dog. So go ahead and lower your knees to the mat and grab 2 blocks. And we'll start by placing the blocks at the top of the mat, and we'll put our hands on the blocks so that our hands are uphill. We're going to build an uphill ramp under our hands. You might even, I like to do this with a middle height block. Tall is probably too tall, but you can feel it out low or middle, and you have Lego man hands like this if they're the middle height like mine are. Okay, and then come on up into your down dog and just close your eyes and notice what's different now that your hands are higher up. So what you might notice with your hands higher up or uphill is that you can draw more weight down into your legs. You might even get your heels closer to the mat and feel into a bit more of a hamstring stretch. So take a couple more breaths here with your eyes closed and just kind of get curious about what this does to your down dog. Same, but different. Let's take one more. And then from here, you can go ahead and lower your knees, and we're going to swap our blocks to the back of the mat. So now you don't need them too wide, just hips width apart. And we're going to put our feet up on the blocks, and our hands will be downhill from our feet. This is going to help you open up your T-spine, your thoracic vertebra, the middle of your spine, the sticky part that's bound by all the rib bones. So come on into down dog, and with your feet uphill and your hands downhill, notice how you can drive more weight down into your hands. Get a good grip on your mat. Push into your fingers. And then close your eyes, spin the drishti inward, and take about 3 more deep breaths here, and just notice what's different. And if you're very flexible in your shoulders, hug your front ribs in a little bit and hug in around babies, just so you don't sway for those that are super limber. One more breath. And then open up your eyes and first step off your blocks and then lower to your knees and then move your blocks back towards the top of your mat just so they're handy for later on. And come back into downward dog without the blocks, just your plain old down dog, knees bent or straight. And take one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then go ahead and walk your hands all the way back towards your feet and find your fold. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And inhale your hands up to your shins, look forward. Exhale, hands to your hips, hug in around baby, and then inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, strong legs, and again, hug in. Inhale, circle your arms down, around, and up. Exhale, gather your hands down the midline, back to your belly, close your eyes. Take one deep breath down to your baby. And as you exhale, hug in, navel towards spine. Open your eyes, inhale, turn out your feet, bend your knees a little bit and pulse up, look up, reach up. And then exhale, modified, hugging in or full, coming all the way down into Malasana, garland. Deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, right away, let's walk our hands forward and find downward facing dog. And take an inhalation here. And as you exhale, lower your knees to the mat for a spinal twist. So if there's any acid reflux, you could sit cross-legged and twist to your right first and then your left. Otherwise, I have the needle. Reach your left arm out and up. And then as you exhale, thread the needle so that your left cheek could rest on a block or it could rest on the mat. You're twisting towards your right. Press down into your right palm and use that as a lever to turn more of your right ribs open towards the ceiling. Stay here or walk your right hand out in front of the top of your head. That's it. Nice, Jenny. Keep threading that left arm through. Yes. You could even, if you want to make a little more room here for baby, pick up your right knee, keeping your right 5 toes on the ground. or take your left palm onto your right thigh and start the process of straightening the left elbow. Roll towards the back of your head. And we'll take 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then slowly and gently unwind yourself. Come back to all fours. And take a neutral breath, neutral spine. Gather yourself back together. Hug in around baby as you exhale. Find that transverse abdominis. Side 2, reach your right arm out and up. And then exhale, thread the needle so you'll rest onto your right cheek. And your left hand is like a lever. Press down into it to open towards the ceiling. Stay there or walk your left hand out in front of the crown of your head. Maybe tuck your back toes under and start to lean back towards the back of your head. You can stay here or take your right hand like you're holding a waiter's tray onto your left thigh and then start to straighten your right elbow. And breathe. 2 more. And then gently and slowly, let's bring ourselves back to the center. Lower the knee if it's up. Come back, all fours, neutral spine. Exhale, hug in around baby. And then come on back, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips. And with your next exhale, walk your hands all the way back towards your feet. Find your forward fold, find your fit. Full breath in. Full breath out. Hands slide up to your shins, heart reaches forward, lungs forward, look forward. Exhale, hands to your hips, hug in around baby, and then inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, strong legs, long tailbone. Inhale, circle your arms. And then last time, exhale, hands to your belly, close your eyes. Take 3 breaths here. As you exhale, hug in around your baby. It's almost like you've got a little ball of chi energy around your belly, around your baby, around your womb as you exhale, hugging in from pelvic floor and from the front of your belly and imagining the back and the upper crest, the diaphragm as well, hugging in. Last deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, blink your eyes open and grab 1 block for the block squats. This is great for pubic bone pain and tenderness. Block can go middle or narrow in between your inner thighs, and you're gonna squeeze into the block and try to get nice and vertical, like lengthen out your hip flexors and draw the tailbone down. As you inhale, Utkatasana, sit into your heels, lift your arms, squat. And as you exhale, squeeze your block. Beautiful, and stand. Looks good. Keep it going. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, squeeze your block and stand. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. As you squeeze the block, think of the pelvic floor toning in and up, 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 up. About 5 more. Inhale. 5. Inhale. 4. Inhale. 3. Inhale. 2. And last time, inhale. Utkatasana. Exhale, stand. And then you can move your block out of the way. And let's hook the right foot behind the left foot. You'll have a little bit more weight in your left foot than your right in this position. Reach up with your arms, grab your right wrist, and lift it up. And can you spiral your right hip forward as you lift your right arm up? Take your left hand to your left hip and then side bend towards the left. So you get a big stretch into your outer right hip, clear from your right ankle, up through your right wrist, this whole kind of banana shape. 2 more breaths. Plug into the left foot. Bump the right hip forward. Reach, 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 reach. And then come on back and swap it out. So you'll bring your left foot behind your right, and more weight will be in your right foot than in your left. And then reach up, grab your left wrist, lift up, and send the left hip bone forward as you lift the left wrist up. And then start to side bend, right hand to the hip, reach up and over. You'll feel a stretch in your ribs maybe, but also your outer left hip. Reach over. Send your left hip forward as you reach across. One more breath. Nice. And then from here, come on back to the center and bring your feet back to, let's come to the top of the mat actually here. Bring your feet about hips width apart, and we'll bend the knees with our hands on our hips, and then really open your chest and hug your elbows in. Now, you could stay here or come onto your tiptoes for a little balance challenge. Imagine you're hugging into a block so your knees stay tracking right over your second toes. And then press the palms of your hands up. So you're going to let go of your hips, press your palms up, make as much room as you need for baby. Keep lifting your chest up. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Stay here. Exhale, 1. Inhale, lift way up high on your tiptoes if you're there. Exhale, 2. Now take a big breath in. And as you exhale, heels down, arms up, Utkatasana. Inhale in Utkatasana, fierce pose. And then exhale, hands to your hips. And then hold on to your hips like this, tacking your elbows back, or bring your fists to your sacrum like this. Pull your sacrum back, and then bump it forward, straighten your knees, lift up to go back. So you can look at the wall in front of you, you can hold your hips or fist to sacrum, upper back bend, lift up to go back. So you're really vertical through here, and you're opening your chest. 1 more breath. And then from here, bring your feet about mat's width or perhaps wider, hands to your hips, and flick your tailbone up so you have space to fold forward. Lots of space for baby in between your thighs here. So if you need to widen your feet, do so. Find a stance that really supports your body and your baby here. 2 more breaths. Maybe you find a little sway side to side, like you would in ragdoll. And then we'll step it back, down dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale nose. Exhale mouth. And then from here, come on down to your knees and lower down onto your forearms for dolphin pose. So interlace the fingers so that your forearms are like that on the mat. Press down into your forearms. You could stay right here or tuck your toes. Lift your knees, lift your hips, dolphin. 5 deep breaths. So the key in this pose is that active press from your elbow to your wrist. Push the floor away. And maybe shake out your head, relax your neck so there's clearance. Your head does not touch the ground. You push into your forearms, activate your serratus, and find a little clearance between the crown of your head and the floor. 2 more. Child's pose. Rest your big toes together. And then this time, let's grab our blocks and put them out in front of us. If you need a block under your head, you'll just do that and stretch your arms forward or stack your hands under your head. But if you'd like to get a little tricep stretch and get up into that T-spine, that thoracic again, elbows to the block. And you want to bring your head down in front of the block. So there's a little clearance there. You're not going to bonk your nose on the blocks. And then you can walk your elbows forward and in, like in towards each other, but forward to the top of your mat. Hands in prayer, bend at your elbows so the fingers reach towards or perhaps the thumbs touch the upper back. And then take some nice slow breaths. Sink your hips towards your heels. And press down into the triceps or elbows, whatever is making contact with your blocks if you're in this shape. 2 more. Okay. And then from here, release the bend in the elbows, straighten them out. Walk your hands in front of the blocks. And then stay seated with your hips to your heels, but walk your hands in and roll up through your spine so you're seated in a child's pose seat. If this is uncomfortable, you can sit cross-legged. Spin your fingers back and your thumbs forward. Hug your shoulder blades in. You might even bend your elbows and hug them in. Try to get vertical through your low spine so you're not back here, but you're nice and vertical. And find that upper thoracic back bend. So you can look at the wall in front of you, or perhaps the heel of your hand draws down and you look up to the ceiling. 2 more. And then from here, let's find our way nice and easy back to all fours. You can move your blocks out of the way. And then back into down dog when you're ready. If you're lifting a leg, and that's an if you have pubic bone pain, you could skip lifting and step straight through. If you're lifting, lift your right leg up. And then exhale, step your right foot through to the outside of your right pinky. Left heel down, right hand to your thigh, rise, warrior 1, arms up. As you exhale, make a cactus shape with your arms, widen your chest. And then on your next exhale, either interlace your hands or grab a strap between them. Pull the knuckles back, open the heart and the shoulders. Humble warrior, dive inside of your right knee. And you can look at your right big toe to help with balance, or drop your head and look at your back foot. Tack your right hip back, draw your inner left thigh up, and then squeeze your shoulder blades, elbows, and heels of hands in. Heavy head. If you're looking back, easy neck. 1 more breath. From here, bring your hands to the back of your pelvis and then down to the mat, and then step back, downward facing dog. Either stay here or lift your left leg. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot outside of your left hand, plant your right heel down, left hand to your thigh, rise, warrior 1. So your feet are nice and wide, not on a tightrope, but a hip's width. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, make your cactus arms. And then take a big breath, open your heart. Interlace behind your hips, opposite thumb on top, or grab a strap and open it up. And as you exhale, dive inside. You can look at your left big toe to help your balance, or maybe drop your head. Pull your left hip back. Hug your inner right thigh up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Shoulder blades squeeze. Elbows hug in, heel of the hands, hug in. 1 more. And then gently release your palms to the mat, step back, plank, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out through your mouth, and repeat it. And then from here, lower down onto your knees and grab a block. You can also sit on 2 blocks for this one. You'll sit in Virasana. So I'll show kind of from this angle. The block is between your ankles and your feet are wider than your hips. And all 10 toenails want to touch the mat here, all the way to your baby toenails. All right, so you're going to squeeze into the block, and we'll start with the right hand. We'll do this twice on the right side and then twice on the left side. And it culminates in Gomukhasana arms, which is like this. So you might want to strap nearby if you know that that's a bit of a reach for you. But the prep can really open it up more than you might be used to. So you might not need your strap. 1, take your right hand to your left knee. 2, take your left hand to your right knee. 3, take your right hand to your left heel. So you might have to lift your butt up to grab a hold of the heel and then sit back down. 3, 6, and 9 are tricky, so let's hold with 3 for a moment and widen your chest. Squeeze the block with your ankles. 4, take your right forearm up your back, fingers up towards your neck. 5, open your left arm to the left. 6, this is another sticky spot. Take your left hand to your right elbow and then work your right elbow in. And work your right fingers up. And take another breath here. 7, reach your left arm out to the left, look up over it. 8, all the way up to the ceiling, look over your right shoulder. 9, interlace your fingers or grab that strap. And then look straight ahead. So we'll take another breath here with 9 as well. Let's do the left side, and then we'll repeat right and then left again. So 1, left hand, right knee. This will put you on the left. Exactly. 2, right hand, left knee. 3, left hand, right heel. So you might have to lift your butt up to get in there. And take a moment with 3. Squeeze the block with your ankles. Lift up through your breastbone. Press your right hand against your left thigh. 4, take your left arm up your back, fingers up. 5, open your right arm to the right, look over it. 6 is another sticky one, so right hand to left elbow and pull the elbow in, pull the fingers up. Take another breath. 7, right arm to the right, squeeze the block with your ankles. Yeah, nice. 8, up and over the top, look left. 9, interlace your fingers or grab your strap and take another breath. And we're gonna go just a tiny notch, not terribly, but a tiny notch faster, okay? Right hand, left knee, 1. Left hand, right knee, 2. Right hand, left heel, 3. Hold 3 for a breath, looks good. 4, right hand up the back. 5, open it out to the left. 6, grab the elbow and take another breath here. 7, left arm to the left. 8, up and over the top. And 9, interlock or grab your strap, take another breath. 1, left hand, right knee. 2, right hand, left knee. 3, left hand, right heel. Take another breath. 4, left hand up your upper back. And then 5, right arm to the right. 6, take another breath with this one too. Right hand, left elbow. 7, right arm to the right. 8, up and over the top. And 9, interlace or grab your strap and pull your heart forward. Take another breath here. And then gently release your arms, move your block, come to all fours, tuck your right toes under and just pump out your right knee, because that can be a lot, especially when you're pregnant and there's some extra blood volume going on. You might notice more pins and needles during this time when you sit like kneeling or cross-legged like that. And then try the other side, tuck your left toes and just pump your left heel back. And hug in around your baby here so you don't, like we were talking about earlier, don't collapse and sway your back. All right, and then from here, tuck your toes and lift your knees and lift your hips, downward dog, last standing set. So from your downward dog, if you're lifting a leg, lift your right leg up and open your right hip. Now, we're gonna do a little doggy on a hydrant to strengthen the glute med. If you're not lifting your hip, you could lie down on your side and do clamshells, okay? And, feel free to do clamshells if you prefer them to this one. So from this open hip position, you're gonna bring your right knee out to the right, like a doggy on a hydrant, and then hug it in towards your baby. And then bring it out to the right, and then hug it in. And we'll do 4 more. Lift, and hug it in. You should start to feel your right glute, maybe your left glute too, as you lift your leg out, straight out to your side. 1 more time. And then hug it in and step your right foot outside of your right pinky. And plant your left heel down at a 45-degree angle. Grab a block and put a block tall, middle, low, whatever you want, right behind your your right heel. You got it, your right heel. And then take your left hand to your sacrum. And you might not need the block, so you can ditch it if you don't need it. Press your right thigh back into your right arm and lift your sacrum up into your left palm. Draw your left arm up towards the ceiling and then take a half bind. So you'll bring your left arm behind your low back or maybe even your left hand to your right thigh. Relax the weight of your head like you're tipping water out of your right ear and lift your left collarbone. 3 more breaths. Make your legs active. Think of hugging your heels in towards the midline. One more breath. And inhale, open your left arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, take both hands down inside of your right foot. Wiggle your right foot over and lower your left knee down. So if there's any pubic bone pain, I want you to just take it really easy here. You might even put blocks under your hands if you're still doing these kind of lunges, and back up a little bit and then hug your thighs in. If that's not the case for you, this can be a nice stretch. So if you want to go into your hip flexors, your quadriceps, and your right outer hip, your external lateral rotators, turn your right thigh out. It can be on palms, blocks, or forearms. And if you want to go on, you can catch your left foot with your right hand and pull it in towards you. You might even prop up your head here with one or two blocks. And take some nice deep breaths. All right, one more. And then slow and gently release your foot. And let's come back to all fours. And then from all fours, when you're ready, down dog. And if you're doing clamshells, you'll lie on your right side this time. Oh, Kitty. That was Kitty right by that. Kitty wanted to make a cameo. All right, so if you're on your side, you're on your right doing clamshells. Otherwise, lift your left leg, open your left hip, and then bring your left leg out to the side. And then hug in around your belly, your baby with your knee, and reach it out and up. And hug it in, and reach it up. 3 more. Hug, and lift. Hug, and lift. And hug, and lift. And then we'll step that left foot in right outside of your left pinky. Plant your right heel down and grab a block, if you'd like, right behind your left ankle. Left hand on the block, right hand on your sacrum. Go forward through your breastbone, back with your left thigh, up with your sacrum, and then open your right arm. Stay here or take a half bind, right arm to the low back or right hand to the left thigh. Widen your right collarbone and relax the weight of your head to the left. And then breathe into that neck, chest, and shoulder space. Two more. All right, gently release. Slide your hands down, both of them inside of your left foot. Wiggle your left foot over to the left, and we'll lift the right heel and then lower the right knee. So you can modify with blocks under your hands, back up and hug in, or if it still feels nice to get in there, go for it. Externally rotate your left thigh. Hands on the floor, on blocks, or forearms to the floor. And then catch, if you're going on your left hand to your right foot, maybe prop up your head and just breathe down to your hips here. And wherever you are, take 3 more breaths. One more. All right, gently release the foot if you have it, and let's come back to a child's pose setup with your big toes touching and your knees wide. And you'll know right away if you like this or don't like it, so don't do it if you don't like it, and I'll show maybe an alternate pose with supported bridge if you're not taking this in a sec. So you can prop up your head and your upper back. You might even put a block up taller under the back of your head. And you can also come all the way down. We're not going to be here terribly long. So saddle pose, the knees are wide like a big wide child's pose, the big toes touch, and you're gonna rock back and then lift your hips, scoop your tailbone forward so that you really sit into the bowl of your feet, and you can rest on your forearms, or you can come down onto your blocks or all the way down onto your back like this, and then grab opposite elbows if you'd like. And if you're like, ooh, if that doesn't feel good, maybe on your low back or round ligament, sometimes if there's round ligament pain, it doesn't feel so good. It can just feel blissful or just like totally the opposite. And you'll pretty much know right when you come into it. So if it's not for you, you're gonna lie down on your side and roll onto your back and put a block under your back. You might even choose 2 blocks on the very lowest setting, stacked. And that might make a perfect height for you today. And you're just gonna breathe and kind of irrigate the front of your hips, your quads, your hip flexors, whether you're here or in that saddle pose. We'll take about 8 more deep breaths right where you are. Yeah, your body will tell you right away. So honor your body, listen to what feels right for you. Let's take one more breath wherever you are. And then from here, slowly use your hands to come on up. And let's come all the way to all fours from here. Take a moment, settle yourself, find your center, bring it all together. And then Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So right knee will thread on top of the left, and you'll point your shins back. And you can sit on a block if you'd like. This can be a bit of an intense pose. You can sit on a block, a blanket, or just sit all the way down in between your feet. And then once you're settled, pause and just feel and notice. So you might look down and see if you can position your hips pretty equidistant from your 2 heels. And then feel if like one sitting bone is cocked up off the ground and if you can press both sitting bones down. Yeah. And if this is just like not happening, you could sit cross-legged, okay? Yeah, looks good. Now let's take our 8 fingers. You can tuck your thumbs in, and you're gonna lace them in between your 10 toes. And that can be a little tricky. And then sit up tall. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Deep breath in. And out. Root into both sitting bones. Keep it going. Can you feel the breath even through both nostrils? And the weight even steady, symmetrical through both sitting bones. Notice if you're favoring one. Try to balance yourself. One more breath. As you inhale, blink your eyes open. You can release your yogi toe hands. And take your right hand straight out from your right hip and your left arm up and over. So you're going to feel a lot in your left IT band, your left outer thigh, up into your outer hip. It's such a good one. You've got your right knee on top, pinning that left leg down as you side bend away from it. You might swivel your heart up towards the ceiling, towards the left, and then plug into that left sitting bone. One more. Neck release. Drop your left hand down. And then slow and easy, like someone's pulling on that hand, come on up. And you can either like come back to, not cross-legged, to kneeling and switch, or you can do the little move where you ground your hands off to your left and lift your hips up and then twist yourself around and kind of get in a little bit of a squat as you twist. So you stay low to the ground with your hips. And voila, you should have your left knee on top. If you don't, just fix it. So keep going all the way around, or just take a seat, no worries, and thread your left knee on top of your right. Don't do the same side twice. All right, and then take a moment just to notice how you've settled in on this side. You might look down. Maybe you put a block under your hips, and that might help you. And see that you're pretty equidistant here, or adjust if you're not. And then we'll take our 8 fingers and lace them in between the 10 toes. Sit up nice and straight and close your eyes. And then once again, feel the weight even through the sitting bones, right and left. Notice if you favor one. And feel the breath even through the nostrils, left and right. Can you notice that subtlety of how you're breathing right now? Ida Nadi, the left side, left nostril. Pingala Nadi, the right. And we'll take one more breath here. As you inhale, float your eyes open, release your fingers, and take your left hand straight out from your left hip and your right arm up and over. You'll feel into that right IT band, right outer hip. It's a good one. Maybe turn your heart open towards the right. Look up under your armpit here. Neck release. Drop your right hand. Relax the weight of your head. And then like someone's pulling on your right hand, nice and easy, come on up. Okay. And then this time you can just unbraid your legs, open your legs. We'll finish if you have, it looks like some of you guys have a wall spot. If you don't, you can come into left side lying Shavasana. But if you do, we'll use the wall. We'll have a block nearby for legs up the wall. But before we come into legs up the wall, I'll show where we'll go. So if you have a wall nearby, and if not, come into your left side, lie and rest there. You'll roll on your side to get on your back, and then you'll bend your knees so you've got room for baby here. And then you're going to lift your pelvis up a little bit and just press your hands, your forearms, whatever you've got, into your thighs, and let your hip crease start to drop. So you're like, if your tailbone tucks up, see if as you press your hands into your thighs, you can start to untuck your tailbone so that you get a bit of traction in your lumbar. You'll take about 3 to 5 breaths there, and then legs up the wall, block under your low back, feet as wide as you need to get comfortable here, hands to your belly or up overhead. All right, so I'll talk you through it and I'll kind of make sure it's going okay. Come on to your back. Yeah, that looks awesome, Judy. And then you can bend your knees with your feet as wide as is comfortable for your bump today. If you're not doing this one, you'll be in left side lie Shavasana. And the work is to untuck your tailbone, to just release the tailbone down. Take about 3 to 5 breaths there. And then whenever you feel ready for your relaxation, come into legs up the wall with a block under your pelvis. Just make sure you're not flat on your back. If you have questions as you settle in, just feel free to reach out. And once everybody's settled here, I'm going to sign off. So give yourself 5, 10 even minutes to enjoy this final pose. I have a recording if you want to reach out to me, if anyone wants to have this practice to do later in the week. Just send me an email, send me a non-social media message. I'm off social media through the end of the week. Thanks for being here. Be well. Namaste.